Hey, are you a business owner, entrepreneur, or professional? If so, we want you to apply to be a featured guest on our show. My name is Adam Torres, and I host the Mission Matters series of podcasts. I've recorded over 3,000 episodes, and we are just getting started. How do you know if you'd be a good guest to be on the show? Well, only one way to find out, and that's to apply, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We want guests that have a story to tell, guests with a brand, a product, or a service that can benefit my audience of listeners. If this sounds like you, go to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. I'd love to talk to you and get to know more about your story. Again, head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, now let's get into the show.
Welcome everyone to another exciting show. This week's topic is focused on what marketing strategy has worked most effectively for your business. Every single week we put together on Mission Matters Club. Definitely feel free to join our club, follow our club. Every Thursday at 4 p.m. PST, we put together an exciting show. This week's topic is again focused on your best marketing strategy. Our company is called Mission Matters. For those of you that are new to our platform, we are a multimedia company focused on the needs of entrepreneurs, business owners, executives. And we're a media company at the forefront, but then we also have a full service content production company. We do everything from video content, podcasting, social media, PR, very effective in all those regards. And up here, we also have a whole book publishing division. And many of the guests here from Renee, Elizabeth, they both have published books with us. And I know they're going to give their wonderful intros in just a moment. But we're going to be hearing insights from them. And so follow us, subscribe as well. And if you guys, we're always looking to bring on more podcast guests. So Jermaine, Zach, Cynthia, anyone else that listens or tunes in. This is a recorded conversation. Just wanted to let everyone know that. And we're going to be sharing this content on our platform once we're done with this conversation. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to my counterpart, Adam, who's going to be moderating and going to have everyone do an intro. So with that, Adam, take the lead.
Thank you, Chirag. And Elizabeth, I have to reminisce briefly. Do you remember, like, before all this COVID and all this other stuff, like our last like online event where you were there, and Chirag's always the MC, does such a good job. I'm like, man, I can't wait till we're back in like real big, like in-person events, dressed up and stuff. I guess we gotta do what we gotta do for now, right, Chirag? But I can't wait to be back having the big events we used to.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Just to get us kicked off for everybody that's on the panel and also in the audience. So this is a pretty interactive club and group. So we'll start off, obviously we're going to introduce the people that are on the panel, but we also, like, if people in the audience have input, they want to raise their hand, they want to raise questions, they have opinions on the topic, like, we're a pretty friendly and open group. So feel free to follow. Every Thursday we have a different topic, and they range everything from marketing to, I think we had one on mental health issues that were going on for people that were, everybody's been kind of stuck inside for a while now. So our different business tools and tech, like, we do a lot of different content. So feel free to, again, chime in and have some fun here. Let's just start maybe going to my left. Renee, if you want to introduce yourself, please.
Hey everyone, Renee Cantera. I work as the VP of Sales and Marketing at a company called Icon Digital. It's also part of a family of companies called EKN Solutions, because we just started incorporating more of first-party data in our targeting. So we work with a lot of ad agencies and PR agencies, also direct with brands, helping them mostly with their programmatic advertising, which layers on a lot of data, but we also help with all the standard tools like Google, SEO, Facebook, because you have to have a complete campaign. But love to help my partner communities, and that's why I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you, Renee. And Elizabeth, if you want to introduce yourself, please.
Yes, thank you so much, Adam and Chirag. I am Elizabeth Yo. I am a 27-year Navy veteran here in Los Angeles, California, in the United States. And I actually founded my company last year. I feel like such a grown-up. So I started in February 2020. It's a boutique consulting, recruiting, and staffing firm specialized in placing women veteran leaders in leadership positions. So hats off, honestly, to my publishers, Adam and Chirag, giving me the confidence to start my book journey with them, and it's really propelled me into where I am right now. So thank you so much. I yield the mic.
All right, and Raj, welcome.
Hey guys, thank you Adam. I know Elizabeth from one of the other couple of rooms. Hello Renee, hello Chirag. Thank you guys for bringing me to the stage. Okay, my name is Raj Singh. I'm from London, UK. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you guys are. I run a marketing agency by the name of Explicit PR. I'm the founder, director, and head of public relations, and we provide marketing solutions for struggling businesses, new artists, and new startups as well, whether that's online or offline. Check out my bio for all the services that we provide. I'm also the founder that we provide discounted services to artists that are signed to the label for music marketing, public relations services, and music videos. And the idea is that the artist has a return on investment model, so that we can repay them back 100% of their income. So that could be sales, royalties, or it could be merchandising. So we don't take a penny from their income. It's we believe an artist they work hard enough as it is, they spend a lot of money, so why not give that money back to them? So that's our model. Thank you very much, guys, and I yield the mic.
Man, Raj, no joke. Me and Chirag were having a conversation literally this morning, and I was like, you know what, Chirag, we need to do more work in the UK market, like booking people in our show, because we do quite a bit. I mean, in the US, but I was like, we don't normally do too much there, but I don't know if this is true or not. So call me out if I'm wrong in terms of verifying. But the UK is I think it's top 3 markets specifically for podcast downloads. Obviously, the US being number 1. I don't remember if the UK was number 2 or number 3. I don't know if Canada was where they're at in there, but it's a big market for podcasting. Am I wrong, Raj, or am I right?
I think you're right, because the UK is actually catching on to a lot of what the Americans are doing. Because me myself, to be fair, in my team, I've got a business coach who does one-to-one coaching sessions with, let's say, CEOs or directors that are struggling into getting direction of their business. However, he advises me on certain things, and one of the things he's actually advised me on is to do a video podcast. So I am going to start doing something in the next few months, and that's going to be via YouTube, Facebook, and my IGTV. So I'm going to be repurposing a lot of my content on those platforms. But one of the main ones I'm going to be doing it on is going to be Pinterest, because I think a lot of people are forgetting that Pinterest is the 3rd largest after Google and YouTube. And in order for you to get recognized and for you to be seen on Google is via Pinterest. Now, if you do a test, this should be relevant, will be if you searched for, let's say, tattoos, and you put an image and you select images, you will find that 95% of that will be through Pinterest, because a lot of people do go to Pinterest to search for items. And now Pinterest has set up their platform in a way where you can set up a shop now. You could do video blogs, you could paint videos, you could paint images. You can virtually do anything now on Pinterest. And I think it's a forgotten platform, but it's coming back with a bang. So that's what we find from our research. Now I'm going to be putting out a 7 secret guide on how to use Pinterest for your business.
Man, that is so big time. And you are speaking Chirag's language. I feel like you guys had a conversation before this, because he loves talking about Pinterest. And I just listen to what Chirag says on this stuff. So I don't he's the one he's living that all day long. And so all of our episodes, we for every episode that we put out, we do a post on Pinterest. And you go under images, and Pinterest comes up all the time. And I'm like, I believe you, Chirag. Fine, we'll do it. It's funny, but Chirag, Chirag, what would you estimate we've done in terms of posts on Pinterest now? Because you probably know better than me.
I don't know. It's been over probably 1,500 to 2,000 in that range.
Yeah, probably about 2,000 plus posts.
I just created a piece of content today, and I'm having some issues with my Instagram right now, because I think Instagram is becoming very glitchy. And what I tend to do is I tend to create animations, and I do that via a platform called Canva. So you can create some awesome creative animations on there. And what I do is I do some research, and then I repurpose that content. But what I do is I create it in my own style, and I create it in my own words. And I've actually created I think it's 14 reasons why you should be using Pinterest for your business. And one of the top reasons, number 1, is because it's the 3rd largest search engine. So I honestly believe that Pinterest between now and the end of the year is going to be one of the trending platforms to use. And I think if you look at YouTube as well, I think people are forgetting that YouTube are using YouTube Shorts now. And the reason why they've done that is to actually compete with TikTok and Instagram Reels. And they don't want to get left behind. So they're investing $300 million into their actual platform. So I think YouTube Shorts is going to be absolutely huge going forward. And people forget that Google actually owns YouTube. So if you're doing YouTube videos, you're going to get more pings saying to Google, which then Google will then recognize you and rank you. So there's a lot of big strategies that can go behind using certain platforms. I don't think you need to be on every social platform. I just think that certain platforms give you certain benefits and certain platforms give you certain exposure. And I think you just need to maybe appreciate and understand that which platform is right for your business, I suppose.
Raj, I'm going to just jump in here because I love what you said about which platform for your business, because depending, what your goal is, that's obviously the best way regarding strategy. It's interesting because now content is so hot. I mean, obviously Chirag and Adam, that's exactly what you're doing. So you know what works best for your content and your audience. Maybe you find your speakers on LinkedIn, but then you push it out on Twitter to get the media. Who knows what's working best exactly for you. But a lot of my clients that I work with, the ad agencies or the end clients, say like car dealerships or even hospitals or whatever, they're actually looking for leads. So they're just looking for valuable leads. So content is such an important part of that. And, wherever the people are the most, they always have a presence or a video testimonial. But a lot of times with regard to leads, I find like Google AdWords or Google service ads or even Google My Business for local. Google's been really great for bottom of the funnel leads. So I just wanted to throw that out.
I agree, actually. But I think that Google Ads can be quite expensive. There is a cheaper way of actually doing it, and you could do like a lead generation strategy. So if you've got a very good website that's actually got the right meta tags and is SEO correctly, then I think you could actually create a lead generation strategy just from your website. All you got to do is just get a social media ad connected to that and just send your traffic from your social media straight to your lead gen, to your website. And if you're giving away something of value to your consumer, to a winner there straight away.
Definitely. I totally agree. Organic is the best for sure. It's the cheapest. That's true.
Yep. Just curious, what have you guys done that's been the most effective marketing strategy that you guys have implemented at any given point in your career?
I've done as I've just said, kind of like a lead gen. Like what we did was, it was for music. I had an artist in 2016 who wanted to release a track, and his aim was to build a mailing list. So what we did was we decided to give away a track for free rather than sell it, because who doesn't like stuff for free? So the idea was to create a press release. So it was like a twofold strategy. So on one hand, he was going to get exposure via public relations. So that was like press media, radio, TV, and his track was going to be aired. So where he would have collected his royalties, so he's making some form of money. So he's not making a loss. But on the other hand, it was like he's giving the track away for free. So it was like a double strategy there. And the idea was to have I think it was a click funnel that we used. And we approached about 6 artists from the Asian music scene. And we just said to them, we go, look, we've got this idea, we've got this tribute that we want to do, because the artist felt that the singer who actually wrote the song wasn't getting enough credit in the music scene, because singers songwriters, beg your pardon, don't get enough credit. Because they sometimes just push at the back of the line of like all the credits, and especially in the Asian music scene, it's the singers that get the credit and the producers rather than the songwriters. So what he wanted to do was he wanted to create a press release around this songwriter, and then he wanted to push it out, and then he wanted to also give the track away for free. So we got a strategy where we used ClickFunnels, and it was like a collage of artists saying, please just put your email address below to get this track for free. And it worked, because these artists that the audience can actually resonate with. And what we did was we put a small ad budget behind Facebook and we pushed it out. And it was the first time the Asian music scene in the UK has actually seen that, and they were actually resonating to a point. And they were also looking at that, wow, that looks absolutely different. So I feel that lead generation can work if you do it correctly. And the artist actually benefited not once, not twice, but 3 times, because one, he was getting radio airplay and the PR. Thirdly, he was giving away the track for free. And thirdly, he was actually building a mailing list where he could repurpose his marketing strategy. So he can resell his music. He can give music marketing, not music marketing, just like music tips in terms of like how to produce, how to sing, how to write songs. So that kind of strategy really worked for us.
I love that. Thanks for sharing. How about you, Renee?
I was thinking of one that would be great to share because, on my end of the agency business, I'm more on the lead gen and the audience side versus the content. But A really cool client that I work with directly is a plastic surgeon in Miami, just a local office, very talented surgeon. And they're doing so many cool things. So I'm just going to share a little bit about some of their strategies, because we've actually gone and done some podcasts about it, like at different universities, because they're already booked with appointments and surgeries through 2022, the first few months already. And, what doctor or small kind of business wouldn't want to have that. So I'll give you a little bit about some of their top line strategies. First of all, they have an awesome Instagram account where their target is, young women, probably ages 25 to 40. And so they film some of the surgeries. So it could be a little controversial. Obviously, everyone has to check off on it, but you'd be surprised. People really love to see what's going on there. And then, all the information, because it's kind of like, are people ready to go under the needle? So, and the doctor during COVID also does Zoom consultations. So using all kinds of technology there. Then besides Instagram content, they do paid Instagram and Facebook ads, of course. They do Google AdWords. They have a really great SEO. So they have a pretty much a page for every type of surgery. And then they do all the injectables, like, the Botox and all of those fillers. So one promotion that they don't like to discount a lot, but when they had a grand opening office, they tried to do like certain contests, like, give us your email and enter to win, and then you can get a free Botox session. So, kind of like Rod said, sometimes when you give something away or you give some perceived discount, maybe it's not even that great of a deal overall, but you just get a lot of data. And I'd say first party data is really hot right now. In my industry where we do programmatic, there's all this talk about the cookieless world coming up. I mean, a lot of data is out there from credit card files, but once you have customers, you just load those lists and you can retarget them, which is really hot. So I just gave you a whole menu of things, but in coordination, they all work really, really well.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, Renee. I mean, like another lead gen strategy, which is really cool, is if you run like a competition as well. So what we're doing is I'm putting together a competition where I said to myself a while ago that when I reach 2K followers on Instagram, I'm going to put together like a competition and putting together a free guide for Pinterest. So the 7 secrets to Pinterest, the winner's going to get that first. And what's going to happen is I'm going to divert them to put their email address in to actually be entered in the competition for them to pick random. And the way we can do that is by announcing it via Instagram Live. Now we're going to put an image up, and with the image, we're going to have the Pinterest 7 Secret Guide, plus we're going to give them monetary value of like something else. And I know what that is. And we are going to put that together. We're going to create an awesome image, put that out, and then what we're going to do is we're going to just do like a call to action. We're going to say to people, go to the link, just opt into this opt-in, right? Put your email address in, and you repeat, and then you pick that random. And I think people are happy to enter competitions because people, especially like during the pandemic, people are short of money. People don't have much money to spend. So if you're giving something away which they can probably use in exchange for a product, for example, like a voucher, like, let's say, I think that is something that people are more receptive to do, and they'll be happy to actually give their email address for that. And then you've got their email address, which we believe is gold dust, and then you can set up an email marketing campaign on the back end and do like an email sequence, where you can then give marketing tips, build trust, and then you can sell them more products going forward.
I love that. Actually, I was going to say one other strategy that I worked really well. So prior to Mission Matters, I used to run a luxury media company. We had, I think, close to like 500,000 uniques a month coming to our website, built it up from ground up. And one of the effective strategies that we did is like during the holidays, or as we were entering the holidays, we coordinated a whole campaign and we called it, instead of the 12 days of Christmas, we called it the 12 days of luxury. And what we did is every single day we ended up partnering up with 12 different luxury brands, each day releasing a new product. So it was like, like the first day of Christmas, blah, 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 right? So what we ended up doing is we created a fun little marketing narrative called the 12 days of luxury. We created our own like song, and every single day we would release like one product, then 2 products. For the second day, third day was like something else. Then fourth day, we released something else. I think all in all, the combined packages of all the items that we were gifting away was over like $20,000. We partnered with 3 other influencers on the campaign. So we first got the influencers on board, partnered with all of them, and then we coordinated and then we started partnering up with all the brands. And then we coordinated a whole like joint marketing effort. I think we accumulated close to like 30,000 plus email addresses from that entire campaign that entered the contest. And then we started dropping some ads against it to really drive up the traffic. But I think we charged the brand some money. So like we actually did monetize that a little, but the marketing pull and the lead gen that we developed from that and the database aggregation was probably one of the most effective things that we did, and something that actually I would recommend doing if you can partner with influencers like that and do a giveaway. There's some cool platforms that we use that work really effectively there.
Chirag, that's super cool. You know, as you were talking about luxury and the influencers, it gave me an idea to share something that people don't maybe know as much about, because it's on the day-to-day campaigns, or if you're doing it yourself, you might not hear about it. But one of my clients is a shopping mall in Miami through their PR agency. And of course, any influencer making an ad about it makes it like the cool place to be, a hot area. So that made me think of sharing what we do with this mall, because these are not as known tactics, but for certain businesses, it's really great, especially local businesses or businesses that cater to tourists. So I don't know if people are as familiar with geofencing, or also now there's a platform where you can collect device IDs and target. And it's all through just like the mobile device IDs. And it's really cool because you can say, okay, my shopping mall is in this part of town and I want to geofence a 3-mile radius. So everyone in this area at all the hotels knows about me, or at the airport. And then you push out ads out that way. And then you can actually track back foot traffic. While it's like not as well known for everyday types of businesses, for those kind of tourist destinations or travel clients, it's really hot.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen a couple of companies, one in particular, I forgot the name of it. I think it's called Circus, but basically they will partner with brands. And if you want foot traffic, or if you want to make it look like a bigger party, you pay them a little bit of money. And then what they do is they find people, and they'll distribute that money to each of these like models or influencers or whoever it is that you're looking to attract. They pinpoint them, and the way that they get paid is they have to come in I think it's all geo-tracked based on your phone. If you enter this specific zone and you're there and your phone is in that area for some time, then you get paid the money. And then that's like they were able to get models to go without having to. And so their whole thing was building out like this whole mobile app, but kind of reminded me of that whole geo fencing, because there's tools and there's softwares out there and companies that basically are building off of that right now.
A cool one that we just started this year, there was some software called, I think it's called Raffle Press. Like raffle as in you're holding a raffle, and then press, PRESS. And so what we did, one of the great things about Raffle Press was that number one, it's a WordPress plugin, so it's part of your website. So like when people enter it or when they go there, that's actual traffic for your site. But number two, like they have like their giveaway feature, really easy to use. And so what we did is we started raffling like opportunities to come on the podcast. Like, and once a week we draw that raffle, and we've gotten like thousands of entries. And based off of that, what happens is there's different actions that you can do on the in order to enter the giveaway. And some of them are like visit a social media page. Some of them are like, subscribe to a YouTube channel. Some of them are subscribe to an email letter or a newsletter, or to share it. And if you share it, then you get like X amount if somebody subscribes. But that's been a big win for us in terms of just like getting more like across most of our social media and platforms and stuff. We've gotten quite a bit of followers, relatively speaking, just since we started that campaign. And I mean, that's been a big win also, because it's just part of our current like marketing efforts in general. So what we did, and it's pretty simple, is that we just put on our newsletter, like if you want to enter for a chance to be on the show, we just have a little thing that we put on there. And then what we did is we essentially carried over people that were already loyal subscribers to our newsletter to now social media, and to see other content there in other places. So I think it helped for and then other people also share the newsletter, so they get their points or their giveaway entries, I believe it's called, for that. So based off of that, we were able to really, I mean, I think it's super cheap. Don't quote me. Maybe it was like $20 for the year. I mean, it's really cheap. If it was that, I don't know. maybe it's $100, who knows? But it was basically like a one-time cost for a plugin to get their like whatever model of it. And it was a one-time cost. We integrated it into our current marketing. And what it just became is like one of those things that just keeps on paying like over and over, with audience, with engagement, with a lot of other things that possibly I would argue with some sales from the standpoint of some of the people that maybe purchased some of our products or like engaged on some things maybe wouldn't have if they hadn't like engaged with some of our other social media content platforms and things. But I mean, that's a great one. And it was easy to set up too. So that was called Raffle Press. And no, I'm not an affiliate firm, and no, I don't have a code for you, but that's one that I would highly recommend.
Wow, that's cool, because you're using your current database and you're just expanding it based on referrals and things. I'm going to check that out. I hadn't heard of that. That sounds really cool, Adam. Thanks for sharing, for sure. It just, just while I was thinking about what you said of just getting your current audience more engaged with points or whatever, those kind of raffles. I think I mentioned it briefly, but I just want to bring up retargeting. It's such a simple one to put on people's websites, and it's really great, especially if you're selling something in e-commerce or you just want to be top of mind with a specific audience, because your best customers are people who have already been to your website, you would think, so you don't have to win over as many new people. So in certain retargeting platforms, you could just load your current database, and not everyone opens the emails anymore. So even if you have a great open rate, it's great to get them a second round with a display ad or a video or something else. So I'm a big fan of retargeting. I like to put it in almost all the plans for the clients I work with.
That is pretty good, Renee. I mean, off kind of experience, I feel that it takes a customer, I think, 6 attempts for them to open an email. And there was this one time when I loved to go to the gym. So what I did was I actually signed up to this. There was this nutritionist, a bodybuilder from the States. And what he'd actually offering was free bodybuilding tips on, let's say, how to build biceps, right? So what I did, I actually signed up to it. And what he was doing was every week, he was providing tips on like how to build your, let's say, bicep. And the bicep has like 3 muscles to it. They've got inner, outer, and like the top end of the bicep. So he would send a short video to say, this is how you got to build it. Send it again. So what he was aiming for me to do was for me to open the actual email, read it, watch his video, and then connect with him to say, how can I do that? And the idea was to actually buy his products, because although he was offering free tips on how to bodybuild, his nutritional products were the one that were going to assist to actually build the body. So I think sometimes retargeting is very good, and I think it does work very, very well. And that is something that we do advise clients. I think email marketing, though, I think it's quite underrated right now. And I think not a lot of businesses actually take it very seriously. But if we look at the hospitality industry, they are making so much money off this. It's just unreal. I mean, there are certain websites like Groupon, TravelZoom, just to name a few, where they entice you in with a deal, they grab your email address, and then they are repurposing and they're reselling to you every day or every other day with new deals that are coming to go on vacation, to go to new restaurants and restaurant deals and like experiences. And I think that email marketing should not be discounted for businesses, especially that are serious about making money. That's just one arm of a marketing strategy, but there are others like sales funnels as well. You've got sales funnels, which is a completely different strategy. And then you've got like social media ads, but with certain social media ads, you've got to basically do data analysis and just figure out like what's working and what isn't. So I think marketing can become quite complex, but then again, it's not complex. I just think that some people just make it really complicated. It's just about making it simple, trying to simplify it, and then just targeting your audience, I think.
Interesting. No, I appreciate you sharing that. Elizabeth, I got a question for you. I know you've been killing it on Clubhouse recently. And I'm actually curious because I think you've mentioned you've actually found a lot of people and you've been able to connect with a lot of, I think you brought a lot of folks here too. I see a lot of them are following you already. Can you provide a little bit more insight in regards to how you've been using Clubhouse to bring in and generate, leads or generate opportunities for yourself? Because I know you've been getting a lot more out there, even on other social media platforms. I've seen you become a lot more active. So curious how that's been able to impact the business overall.
Yeah, absolutely. And Raj is a testament, right? Raj is in one of the rooms I moderate on a daily basis, twice a day on Hong Kong time at that. So for me, although let me tell you, I was a cryptologist, technician, operator in the Navy, 1990 to 94. So I was doing crypto before it became this mainstream craziness. And I got to tell you something that is true. You are dealing with people. I don't care what means you're using. At the end of the line is a person. So for me, I really utilize and have had nothing but the best of luck, especially with this particular platform overall, not to mention the books from my fabulous publishers here on the stage. However, this platform has really changed the game for me. It is one where you can connect one-to-one with people. I love it that it's audio because people will put on one face on video and something else when they're not, right? And we've all seen and probably experienced and had dealings with people like that. So for me, I have really utilized this platform to create and cultivate relationships because at the end of the day, with all the AI and all your technology and all of the rigmarole that goes with the whole IT and technology industry, it can help you find stats, it can help you target an audience, it can help you brand yourself in a better position so that you're reaching the audience that you like to reach. However, like I just mentioned, at the end of the line is a person. So at the end of the day, you have got to be able to cultivate and maintain those relationships. So somebody might draw to you because of all of your technology, but are you going to maintain that relationship through technology? No, you're not, because we're dealing with people here. So for me, I utilize this and it's worked for me. It's working for me in terms of opening doors to have conversations because that's really where it starts. So even though you might draw that crowd that you're targeting and you get the numbers coming in, unless you're just selling shoes or some inanimate object where it doesn't really require any human interaction. But if you're selling a service, if you are trying to interact with a person and it's a personal deal, it's a contract, it's going to have to come down to a conversation. So for me, hosting a room, starting a room, moderating a room is a way for people to actually see you in action, right, Raj? Because Raj has seen me in action. He has witnessed me on the stage interacting with people. He has witnessed me dealing with actually some like not so great people. We got a lot of trolls in the app. So it's a great way to witness if somebody is really what they're saying they're all about. Because you can write anything, these bios, but at the end of the day, you need to really see if this person is with who they say they are. And so I just feel that technology aside, we can't forget the human aspect of the interactions. And that's why I'm blowing up. And I'm so grateful for this form and for this kind of app and technology in this regard, because it really allows you to open up dialogue. So now I would have never met people in India, in UK, in Tanzania, in Nigeria. Now I got 2 speaking engagements coming up. One is in India, so I'm on the India circuit now. I would have never had this happen. And also I have a speaking engagement coming up in Nigeria. So go figure, right? So it's all about connecting with people. So you can utilize the technology to draw and connect and see who the people are that you want to connect with. But at the end of the day, if you can't connect on a relationship one-to-one level, on a human level, you're not going to have them long. You know, that's just the bottom line. So for me, I've utilized it to develop and cultivate and continue to mature those relationships. And that's why it's working for me. So, and Chirag, you can attest, right, Adam? I was totally like, don't be coming at me with another app, Chirag. Okay, I'm over it. I got like 25 apps on my phone. So don't. No, I don't care. It's lame.
We always tell Chirag that.
We're always fighting against Chirag.
We're like, Chirag, do you really need to make us do another app? And me and Elizabeth don't want to do it.
Oh no, we're like, this is fun. Fighting. Stop calling me. I don't want this app.
I tell him to stop too, and he's my business partner. Go figure.
You got to get on Discord next. Discord is next.
I'm on Discord. Look at me. Aren't you proud, Chirag?
There you go.
I'm doing it.
There you go.
So for real, that's why I'm blowing up, because I'm a people person. Me and Chirag and Adam met with the Latip. We had a Latip meeting, and now look at us now, man. So yeah, I have to give it up to the people, the contact, the reach. It's global, and I'm loving it. I'm feeding off the energy. So in short, yes, that's how I'm doing it. Thank you so much. I yield the mic.
Can I just add to that, guys, if you don't mind? I have to agree with Elizabeth because since I've been on Clubhouse, I've actually got a lot of connections from India and the States and from other countries as well, but predominantly from India and States. And what I tend to do is I tend to give a free 30-minute consultation via my calendar. So what that does is that encourages me to talk to the person rather than trying to have a conversation via WhatsApp or Clubhouse. So I do 100% agree with what Elizabeth is saying, because at the end of the day, the client is ultimately going to be the one that we're going to have to build a relationship with. And for me, I've got a client actually at the moment who, for the last 3 months, I've been actually just chatting to him as a not as a client, but as a person. And I'm building a relationship because I met him on a networking event here in the UK. And we basically connected, and we're going to meet up. We're going to probably have a couple of drinks. We're not going to talk about business, but it's just that it's about getting to know someone. And I think he's quite close to signing to my agency to work with me. I mean, he's a personal development coach where he helps CEOs and directors with like helping them in the workspace. And he also helps like personal people with like mental health problems and stuff. So he does like twofold kind of like coaching. But at the moment, I think he's just trying to build that relationship with me where on a personal level, he understands like what my business is about and what I'm about, and if I'm serious about helping him. And I can completely understand that where he's coming from, because if you're going to be exchanging funds for a service, you need to trust a company that you're actually going to be approaching. And I completely agree with you, Elizabeth. You're absolutely right. And also you moderate brilliantly on some of the rooms I've been in. You're really, really good. And you are a people person because you actually have a great personality and you actually do chat to the individuals that are actually pitching in the rooms, and you do pick out the right people as well. And some people you do actually identify. So yeah, you are a people person, and I think we all need to be people persons if we have businesses, because at the end of the day, right, this technology is great. I mean, I'm not on TikTok, if I'm honest. It's not relevant for my business. It doesn't fit in with my business model. I'm not even on Twitch, and these are some of the biggest platforms that are trending, but they're not for me and they're not for my business. For me, it's about YouTube and Pinterest. So that's what I look at.
Awesome.
Oh man, Raj, you just now made an enemy of Chirag. You talked about TikTok and said it wasn't good for your business. Chirag, Raj didn't mean it. Please, you can sit back. I know he probably, if he was eating something, if he was drinking water, he just dropped his glass. So hold on, Chirag. I'll let you address that in a moment. I have one more question for Elizabeth, please, if you don't mind, Elizabeth, because I'm newer to Clubhouse, so I'm not all that, I'm not claiming I'm good at it. I'm a podcaster. I talk, I ask questions, great. So what goes into moderating? Because I don't think I actually know what moderating a room looks like. And you're on this platform. So what are some tips that you have for newbies like me about moderating a room?
I am so happy you asked, Adam. Great question. Because I really want to help you and Chirag. So basically, and Raj can attest, okay, because Raj, I got proof positive right here. Raj, you're gonna back me up on it, right? Because Raj is always in my room. I'm on Hong Kong time. I spend 3 hours a day on Clubhouse moderating. So I love it. And this is what it is. And I'll let you know, I told you this before, Adam, and it's really important that you all keep this in mind. You have all people from all around the world with all kinds of abilities and disabilities chiming in and contributing in and participating in this app. So what's really important, because just kind of think about it as a dinner party, okay? You have a dinner party, you invite some guests to come over, but this is your home. Okay, this is your home. And so there are some, guidelines and rules that everybody has set for their own domiciles, correct? So basically just kind of think about it in this manner, because that's really the best way to kind of give you something you can relate to, all of us. And so you have a dinner party, you invite people so they know you and they know how you are and how you operate and kind of the guidelines that you have about your own home. For example, we're a Blasian home, so you got to come in, you got to take your shoes off. Not everybody has that kind of rule, but that's ours. So you always want to be aware of what the kind of guidelines and rules of the house are, because you don't want to offend anyone. And so you come in, it's not your home, right? You're not paying the mortgage there. You are a guest. Many people come in and you don't know these people. All we have is the bio. It's an audio app. We cannot see each other. We have no validity until we start to speak, interact, and really can validate what we're saying to one another. So when people enter your room, you kind of enter your home and you're having the party, kind of give an overview of the guidelines of the house. You use the bathroom on the first floor. Nobody goes upstairs. Make sure you take your shoes off. Don't touch the dog, whatever the rules are of the house, right? Same thing with these rooms. When you have, and I was just in a room earlier that was discussing what does the green moderating mean and how are people really interpreting that or utilizing that to run their rooms. And hello, we have some people with bad intentions. We have narcissists. We have all kinds of people on this particular platform. But at your dinner party in your house, you establish what the rule and guidelines are. So when people come, sometimes they bring a guest and you don't know these people. So when you have the followed by speaker section, that's the people that have kind of established some validity. They're real. They're not bots. They're not troublemakers, right? They're legitimate business professionals looking to do business and collaborate. And if you don't know them, then they need to have something in their bio, okay, or you don't bring them to the stage. You just be very frank and assertive about what your guidelines are for your dinner party. People who come to your dinner party, if you need to step away, then you can give them the helm to continue to run the dinner party for you. If you need to use the restroom, if you need to take a call, if you need to have a conversation with someone, right? And so just like that, in the room, you have various moderators here. And you don't just want to make anyone a moderator, because a lot of people come in looking for control. They're looking to, kind of dictate and set some type of hierarchy. So for me, being military, you do need some type of hierarchy. We all do. You need an established set of guidelines and rules so people know how to behave and how far to go. We need boundaries. And I really appreciate, and when you establish these rooms, you also want to remember that as you open with yourself, and that's why I say I yield the mic, and you're like, this isn't a firm and we don't need to be all business professional. But the reason why you want to do that is that you start when you say, hey, Elizabeth, blah, blah, blah. And I say, yes. And I answer the question. And then when I finish speaking, I say, I'm done speaking. I yield the mic, that I'm complete. And the reason why is because you have people with disabilities on this app. People have apparatus that they use that have vision or hearing impaired. And so they cannot distinguish who's speaking at any given time. So what it does is that it helps those with disabilities or impairments be able to distinguish who started the conversation and who's ended. So they know whose thought is carrying on. Otherwise, it's very confusing for them. And I got schooled on that by somebody who actually had a disability. She was so kind enough to let me know to please let me say, that you're done speaking. I am Elizabeth and I am complete. I am done speaking. I yield the mic, so that she knows that that person is done and the thought and whatever, how the conversation carries on is not still with that same person. So we have to be very sensitive to an audio formatted app because we cannot see one another. We have to be sensitive to those who are trying to participate and have respect and empathy and sympathy for those who are with disabilities, because they too want to participate and you don't want to leave anybody out. And so I always say, establish your guidelines up front, like you would if somebody came to your home. You're not going to let them come and just use the bathroom in the middle of the kitchen, right? You're going to let them know, hey, you use the bathroom. You don't eat with your hands. You don't just dig in the salad bar with your hands. We have forks, we have plates. So people know and can understand how they need to behave in the space. And I've seen rooms where they don't establish that, where they just say, oh, just do as you please. Let's just open and welcome. And then it's a chaotic situation. People are arguing, talking over one another, off topic, and you can't understand what's happening when you enter the room. And maybe all kinds of languages are being spoken in the room as well. And so because this is a worldly app, and I'm so blessed to have met Raj in one of the rooms that's run 24 hours a day, because we have to be sensitive to different time zones. We have to be sensitive to people who are English is not their first language. We also want to be respectful to them who have disabilities. So there's a lot that goes into carrying out a room. So this is not a podcast. This is not an interview question and answer type of a situation. It's a conversation. And somebody needs to always be facilitating that conversation, especially if we cannot see one another. And so for me, that is how I carry out my moderating. And Raj can attest to that. I do it every single day. And so I hope, Raj, you feel powered and supported, by our moderating style. But that is how I run.
You did a very great job today, actually, and you are right in what you're saying, because I don't know if you remember, I can't remember where the gentleman was from, but he was blind and he had a project that he was doing, and you actually moderated that very well. And I can't remember where the gentleman, I think he's from Asia somewhere, but it might have been Singapore or Thailand or somewhere in that region. But
it was, it was in Malaysia. Yeah. It was in Malaysia that night.
Yeah, and basically it was a gentleman who was blind and he had a project he was really passionate about. And Elizabeth at the time was actually moderating, and she did a very great job. So yeah, that's just a prime example of like why we need to be a bit mindful of like when we say complete, because obviously someone that is either blind or someone that has a impairment of hearing won't know that, and I think that one thing that I think Clubhouse probably lacks is like if someone has an impairment disability, they won't know. The only thing they could probably see is that little round circle when someone's speaking. That's the only thing. But at the end of the day, I think there would be a solution around that. Maybe if you've got a hearing aid or something like that, maybe probably. But I think for people that have a visual impairment, yeah, I completely understand that what you're saying, because actually, like today was a prime example, and I learned something new today as well, like why people say that. So thank you, Elizabeth. And I yield the mic. Thank you.
Amazing. Wait.
And I yield the mic. So don't have dead silence.
No, definitely. I appreciate you sharing that. So usually we end our conversations. I mean, we usually like to go like an hour or so. And at the tail end of the conversations, we like to bring some of our audience members up. So, we had Monica, and I do not want to butcher your name. I have a hard name, so I'm not going to butcher it. I'm not going to say it. Shaquille. Okay, cool. All right. Just like the basketball player. Okay. Okay. Feel free to introduce yourselves. And do you guys have any questions or anything that you guys would like to ask our panelists?
Hi, I'm an educator. So I usually teach marketing to young professionals and those people who would like to continue their education. And I joined in between. So when Raj was saying that he's not a very big fan of TikTok. So my question to all of you is, because lately I've been doing a lot of research into meme marketing. So we are going a step ahead than TikTok. So what do you think about it? Do you think it has a value in the real marketing sense that brands are going to have their marketing campaigns, have a separate budget for meme marketing? Where do you see it going in the coming future?
I can chime into this. So I work for an organization I volunteer at an organization called Global Shapers. It's kind of like the World Economic Forum's under 35 group. We actually developed a meme page called Climate Shapers. We, within a year, turned our Facebook following to over 45,000 followers. And then also our Instagram page, we just started getting that going closer to like 4,000 or 5,000 followers. We've gotten notice from actually the head organization of Global Shapers. We actually, even from like World Economic Forum, we're running initiatives, and it's all meme content. All it is taking meme content that people would find funny. It works very effectively, and there's a cult-like culture on it. And when it comes to memes, like Reddit is usually one of the places where you get a lot of meme content that'll blow up there. And Instagram, again, is huge. There's a whole meme audience there. It works very effectively to build an audience. It creates a lot of brand awareness more than anything else. And if anything, of course, by default, when you create brand awareness and when you build up a following, then you could, if you have products, if you have services, or you have anything else that you're promoting, it's a great way to get the younger generation involved, like Gen Z, Gen Y, even millennials. It's very relatable. Memes definitely have their purpose, but there's a specific strategy and approach if you're going to use it effectively in a business sense. So.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that one portion that, do you think in next 10 years, a decade later, it's still going to survive, or it's just a fad which comes?
My thought on that is, I think it's been around. I think meme content has been around for multiple decades. It's just changed, right? I mean, I think it's evolved with how the platform, right? I think memes are a little bit more structured. Like a lot of people understand that it's like, whether you're taking like that Michael Jordan crying meme, for example, right? Like that's been around for almost 10 years since he had his Hall of Fame speech, right? or maybe longer. I don't even remember when that was anymore. And then there's a lot of contextual things. I think it'll evolve, right? It evolved into the form of GIFs. I think there's always going to be a place for memes. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. I think it'll just evolve with the platforms and with technology as it continues to evolve. I'm Chirag and I'm done speaking.
Thank you. And I think, I do agree with it. I read a theory lately, and they've associated how memes have evolved to the general evolution theory, the Darwin's theory that, ultimately it keeps evolving and it's going to be here for a longer time. Thank you, Chirag. Shaquille, you wanted to add something to it?
I wasn't really technically going to go down the meme route. I'm personally a big fan of conversations, and I think really what people should look into, if they're not already have, is the DISC assessment. Because what I did, right, is I built an AI that scrapes public directories, okay, and cross-references the data on companies' house. So, I'll give you an example. What it would do, say like I wanted to search for accountants in Basingstoke, which is a location in the UK, it will give me a list of 50 accountants. And then what it would do is it would go onto their website, it would look for a company number or a UK, a LinkedIn profile. Now, what I mean by company number is there's a 6-digit company number that every company based in the UK has, okay? And I'm talking from the UK market perspective. This could be duplicated in any country if there's public records, right? Once it finds the company records, okay, it then tells me the directors of the companies. Now, on company's house, it tells me the year of birth the director is born. Okay, this is brilliant. I cross-referenced this information, and I created an algorithm based on the DISC assessment, based on Gen X, baby boomers, so I know how to have conversations with those people when I call them, okay? So, for example, baby boomers are 40% of them are work-centric, 60% are dominant. So if I know that I've scraped data of a CEO that is born in 1946, I know when I call him, I'm going to talk with an aggressive tone, okay? This is the sort of strategy I used, and it actually led me to work with companies such as Sandler Sales Training, and I don't know if any of you have heard of them, but they are one of the biggest people that comes to sales, £25,000 to get their training, and they were my customers based on the AI that I created. Okay, so I really encourage people to look at the DISC assessment, because really and truly, people buy off people, and if you can understand their behavior, you're going to win.
I'm DISC certified. I have taken that assessment 2 times through 2 different leadership programs. So the military is huge on DISC assessment, because you really need to place the right people together in the right unit in the right way, especially in, very high stress situations. So thank you so much, Shaquille. I really appreciate that. And I just followed you, so I'd love to as well.
Yeah, we've been following each other for a while anyway, so
well, we need to have a conversation.
But yeah, I'm just a firm believer in computer science, right? Data is a key thing, but most importantly, the reason why this method worked for me is because when I started my company, I had little to no money whatsoever. So, right, how was I going to be able to market to these people? I didn't have the biggest budget, but I know that I knew how to talk to people, especially when it comes to cold calling. So, for example, the way that I would introduce a cold call would be something like this. I'll be like, hello, my name is Shaquille, and I'm a computer programmer. And just to let you know, I am cold calling you. Okay, if you would like to keep me into touch, that's okay. And I would just pause. And then, like the Wolf of Wall Street film says, the first person talks loses, right? Because it is absolutely true. They're going to be so nervous because I told them the truth about what I'm doing. And then they end up listening to me. And in that 30 seconds time that they let me talk, I ask them a question. And I'm going to ask them a question that gets them to do 90% of the talking. So I actually learned how to grow my company based on cold calling. And there's a high success rate with it, because out of every 100 people you speak to, 8 people will be interested and 2 will be your customers. The problem is it's time consuming. So this is why the AI definitely helped me be able to collect a load of leads instead of profiling them manually, which would take hours.
And you're Shaquille, and you're done speaking?
Yes, I am done.
Awesome. Awesome. We just brought up Monique. Feel free to introduce yourselves and let us know if you have any comments or questions.
Hi, everybody. My name is Monique. I popped in here because I saw Shaquille talking, and I had to chime in with my little 2 cents because Shaquille is a genius, you guys. He's literally been working on this project, and I definitely can attest to the fact of the algorithms and everything that goes into like how we first communicate with each other on this app, number one, gearing the conversation to steer towards what you want and what you want to portray, your whatever project it may be. Like, you can steer the conversations. And the fact that Shaquille has been able to steer a lot of this goes into the AI, and I will be affirmed. I would be remiss if I did not say, like, AI and these algorithms they're never going to go away. Let's just say that. They're never going to go away. And we need these to actually effectively work in the future, because if you think about business the way that it's going right now, like, the times are changing, like things are getting different. And it's time that we, collectively come together and figure out more effective ways instead of spending time on the things that don't really matter, and probably just getting to the meat and potatoes off of the rip of things. And I feel like with this platform that Shaquille is working on very tirelessly and endlessly, I can say this for about like 2 weeks, about 2 weeks. He's definitely been building a platform where everyone can come together and just basically just get to the bottom of what we're here for, because it's hard enough connecting out there organically enough. And I'm pretty sure everybody else can attest when I say that it's a challenge to gain that audience, keep that audience, not only keep that audience, but make them a repeat customer. And the fact that you can kind of tweak the algorithms in your favor and like go according to like your target audience and gear specifically down to the niche part of everything, it's just like amazing how far advanced technology is actually become and will continue to become. So I feel really honored to be a part of this whole conversation, because everything that everybody's saying is just like, I can agree with, I can relate with, I can, have some sort of resonation with what each of you guys have been up to. And I've been itching to say something, but thank you guys for bringing me up on stage. I really appreciate you guys collectively being here and opening up, because we all have a lot of frustration. Like, marketing strategies are not easy. Like, it's not easy. It's not for the weak. Let's just say that. It's not for the weak. And to gain our audience and keep our target audience's focus is something that is going to take cultivation as collectively. Like, we can't do it all on our own. And I feel like this database and with the scraping of the data and all this is definitely going to propel us to the next level in connecting with each other more effectively and quicker, rather than wasting time on like simple little, I don't know if I'm making sense or I'm rambling on here, guys, but that is my time. And I just wanted to just jump in here and just give my 2 cents. So thank you guys for letting me speak. And my name is Monique, and I am complete.
Thank you so much for being kind. I really do appreciate that, Monique.
Absolutely.
You got it.
Well, so I guess we're pretty much just wrapped up here, but anyone have some final words or final things that they'd want to add to the conversation?
Absolutely. If you don't mind, I would like to leave off with this, right? Everyone is on here. I've listened to what people do and you listen to what I do, but I would like to leave off by saying I've created a community and a database called the Backlinked Club. This is for Clubhouse entrepreneurs that are willing to exchange backlinks with each other. So there's a database there for people, because backlinking is a tedious task. It can be expensive, and there's a lot of people that have synergy here. So I created a platform for you guys for free to be able to connect with people. And that's a gift from me to you guys. Okay. So I hope you enjoy that. I'll send a link to you if you request.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you for that, Shaquille. Anyone else? Just some final tidbits? Otherwise, happy to represent.
Thank you. Always fun to hang out with you guys. So thanks so much for letting me be here. And thanks, Raj. I'm so surprised and happy you're here. I'm like blind testimony right now.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Chirag. Shaquille, as always, it's a pleasure. Monique, it's nice to meet you. It's a great room, and first time I've actually come to this room, and I hope you guys do many more, and I will be attending as regularly as I can. Thank you.
Absolutely. And then just with that, just my final conclusion is every single week at Thursday, 4 p.m. PST, we always put together a different speaking panel. And so we always change up our topics because we publish so many authors and we have a lot of experts in our network that we connect with. So next week's discussion is really focused on, does the American dream still exist? And so 4 p.m. Thursday, and definitely join our Mission Matters Club. That's where we're going to host, and that's where you guys will find all the insights of what's happening and what the latest is with our organization as well. So with that, appreciate everyone joining us. Tune in next week and definitely follow everyone, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions or anything. I'm following all of you guys, so I hope you guys all do the same, and welcome in to join us next week. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.